This recording going? Yes, it is. All right. So let's get this recording going. Week 6 SOP, standard operating procedure, in case some of you are brand new to the system, not really understanding what that actually means. Now, this today is what I call an insert course. And so what that means is that though the standard operating procedure is legitimate, and we could say social media and Google and stuff like that is a part of what you need to be planning in the SOP, and we need to standardize how that's done for your business. What we're going to do today is really dig in a little bit on how you should even prepare your social media for that position, right? So we call it an insert course because it really doesn't fall with the standard of the SOP, because the standard of SOP, again, would be this is how we use social media. This is when we use social media. This is how we position ourselves. This is what we tell the world. And this is how we approach it. Before we can do any of that, I want to have a conversation on what you're doing on social media. How are you aligning all the different platforms together? Are you using video at a very high level? What tools you can use, and so forth, so on. So today's going to be that insert course, but it's also an actionable course. What does that mean? That means that this is when we become super intensively and intentional on the actions that we're going to take to develop your freedom through the SOP platform, right? And so first thing always, it's a freedom day. I say it every morning. I'm super excited to say it every morning. Guys, go ahead and type it in the chat box. It's a freedom day. It's a freedom day. It's a freedom day. Type it in there. I want to see that happen. Some of you already got ahead of the curve. I saw Roger and Ben type it in there. Nice. Renee, thank you. Karen, Elba, Riley. Riley just screamed, freedom! May, it's a freedom day. Appreciate you always. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing is, yes, keep it coming, baby. First thing I want to do is talk to you guys about online platforms, understanding how to make yourself relevant online. And so one of the biggest pieces that I think we need to talk about, and I wrote them here. I know you probably can't see them very well, which is why I'm using this like new feature here, right? So one of the biggest pieces we're going to talk about right now is Google. Now, the reason that we start with Google, I know today we said social media, right? But I think there's been so much attention on social media that people forget that people actually go out there and Google stuff nowadays, right? Like they've been doing that forever. No one goes to Facebook and says, I need a realtor, or I'm looking for a property, or anything like that, because Facebook, what you're using Facebook and Instagram for is to brand yourself of who you are. This is you bringing yourself to the table. We'll get more into that in just a little bit. But more importantly, I want to bring up the godfather, the mother of all internet searches, right? Google, okay? And so as we do this, I'm going to bring up certain things on the screen so we can go through them all. But the first thing I want to do is bring up Google, because I need you guys to position yourselves well on Google, right? So that if I go in and I type dentist near me and hit go, it's going to ask me if I'm okay sharing my location. And what you're going to see right off the bat, okay? And I don't know if I can write on this. I probably can't. I don't know how to do that. All right, so dentist near me. What you're going to find is you're going to find the very first piece being an ad, because Google's always going to promote their ads up front. And we can talk about Google ads in a little bit, but I think there's so much other work that needs to be done for you and your business on Google before you even start running Google ads. And I think this is another mistake that people make. They jump the gun, right? They push into creating some Google ads to get some leads and so forth and so on, but they're missing out on some very key features, right? So now, first thing you see is that ad right there. Next thing you're going to see is what? Google Maps. And what's it going to do? It's going to show me different dentists in the area. Let's make this more specific to us. What if we did realtor? near me. Let's see who comes up. Ooh, I know both those guys. All right, so one of them is using it. Well, there's a couple of them using something called Google Screen, which is a new feature that's come out. So I'm gonna write this down because I want you guys to really understand this. So Google, we have ads that come up first, right? The next thing that we have is we have Google Screened, which is a new feature that Google's using, which means that Google has said this is a real legitimate person, right? Like, and so, I mean, why not trust the alphabet company, right? And then the next thing you're going to see is maps, because you're going to see who in the area is near you to position themselves in what you're looking for in Google Maps, right? And then the next thing you're going to see is potentially articles. And we'll talk about the importance of this right here as well, okay? Now, how do you position yourself in Google to be in better standing? Number one, work on the Google Screen process. It's not a very difficult process, but you do have to have some features, right? Like you'll notice one of the things that you notice from all of these real estate agents for Google Screened is that they have an abundant amount of reviews. You guys can see it, right? There's 49, 148 reviews for Alberto, 37 for Julio, 80 for Mario, 32 for Amistad. You know, Weichert Realty, Sunshine Properties has 26. Lori Finkelstein has 1,276 reviews. Like, that's insane, right? That's insane. That's commitment. That's legitimate. Now, you'll notice a couple other things too. On the right side, they can be messaged or called. So I can message Philip Delgado right here. And what's my message about? Seller's agent, luxury properties, new construction, relocation, right? You can set all of that up in Google Screened, and I highly suggest that you do. We're not going to go through the process of how to do that, guys. Like, you can go to YouTube and figure out how to set up your Google Screen, right? Then the next place you're going to see is the ads. Obviously, there's going to be ad flow, right? The next thing you're going to see is who near you is a real estate professional and is using Google Maps to its highest potential, okay? Who near you is using Google Maps to its highest potential, all right? And then you're going to see articles. So like, you know, Realtor.com is going to have a ton of presence. Zillow is going to have presence. Yelp is going to have presence, right? Those are going to have massive presence. And then you'll get into the real estate companies, right? Now, the only way the real estate companies truly show up is if they have the proper amount of content inside of their websites, all right? So we're going to talk about that for a second. I'm sure you're all familiar with the concept of the Google Spider, Google Bot, call them what you want. So let's pretend this is our Google Spider or bot, right? Now, Google needs to reach out to different positions to create validity for you. Where are you online and how are you developing yourself well? Obviously, Google's going to give presence or it's going to give priority, I should say priority, not presence, but priority to the things that they own, right? They're not going to go to your Yahoo article and give that priority. They're going to go to things that they own. And the very first thing that they're going to go to is Google My Business, which is the old name, right? GMB, which is the old name, Google My Business. Now it's called Google Business Profile, okay? You need to have a Google Business Profile, okay? So after this, you write this down because this is actionable items that need to be done before next week. Because if you don't do them this week, next week we're lost, okay? So actionable items that you need to do this week. Number one is create your Google My Business page. Now, there are some key features that I want you to think about when we're doing Google My Business, right? And GMB is Google My Business. First thing is you need to have a name on your Google My Business page that represents you and your business, right? Now, you also have to be very careful with this. If how you represent yourself online with your headers and how you represent yourself on your different positions and websites, including Instagram and all that other stuff, is how you need to position yourself on Google My Business or Google Business Profile. The reason for that is there are some people that will try to get away with, let's say, writing in their name, right? Because you got to think Google keywords. Is it using keywords, right? So in the name, they will try to write, let's say, David Kurz, real estate, coaching, luxury properties, waterfront properties. Like they'll try to fit all that in the name because they want themselves to come up as that. But if they're not positioning themselves online as such, then it's not going to work out for them. So let me show you my website real quick. All right. So this is my website. My brand from the very beginning says David Adam Kurz, real estate, coaching, speaking, right? Should probably add author in there. And so my website with content and everything else represents my name title as such. So in my Google My Business page, I can say David Adam Kurz, real estate, coaching, speaking, right? Now, why is this important in Google? Because Google will recognize this. And if you try to use a name that doesn't coincide with the way you represent yourself, they will kill your Google profile page. They will shut it down, okay? Because they want your name to represent you as you represent yourself. Now, this also means that if you want to get super hyper focused on a specific market, you can utilize that by advertising that on your web pages, advertising that on your social media and your name balance, and then using that in your GMB profile, right? And so let me explain. If you're an attorney, right, and in your GMB profile, it says, David Kurz, attorney at law, but on my storefront or in my office profile or in my website, it says David Adam Kurz, criminal defense attorney at law, right? So now I messed up on my GMB because on my GMB, I should be using criminal defense attorney. I should be using the niche that I'm hyper focused on. If you're a real estate professional and your hyper focus is waterfront property, or your hyper focus is first time buyers, or your hyper focus is military veterans, utilize that on your website. Represent yourself as such. David Adam Kurz, military and veteran real estate specialist, right? Now it becomes super hyper focused, right? So when there's a veteran Googling for real estate professionals, do you think that veterans, when they Google for real estate professionals, are more attracted to veterans? Of course they are, right? If I'm a first-time home buyer and I do a Google search, first-time home buyer, what am I supposed to do first? And my name on Google My Business is David Adam Kurz, first-time home buyer. Do you think I might come up? First-time home buyer specialist, right? And so that person is going to look at me and go, well, why do I need to do all this research? I can just call this guy because he says he's a first-time home buyer specialist. And there's some other things in there that we're going to focus on, and he's near me and he's got some reviews and so forth and so on. Let me call David, right? And so that's why the name is extra critical. It can make or break you quite a bit when it comes to GMB, right? The next thing is your address. So most real estate professionals use the business address of their office, or they use their home address. Some use a PO box for a reason, and I'll explain this now. If I live, let's say I live in this area, but I don't really sell in that area. I sell in this area. Well, if I use my home address in the Google My Business, but I sell in this area, when somebody says in this area, real estate agent near me, I may not come up because I'm way on the other side of town. And that just makes natural sense, right? Or let's say the office I'm associated with is way on the other side of town, but I like working with them, but I sell way down here, right? So what some people have elected to do is get PO boxes. And nowadays, the PO box companies will actually give you a legitimate address that you can use that doesn't have the name PO box in it. And so with that being said, you can utilize that for your GMB. Now, don't use an address that you don't have access to, because they will verify this address. And when they verify this address, They're going to send you a postcard in the mail to that address. You're going to receive that postcard. You're going to go back to your GMB, your Google My Business page, okay? And you're going to insert that code. And that's what's going to tell Google that you legitimately work at that address or have access to that address. This is going to tie into Google Maps. And that's why that's so critical. That is why that's so critical, right? The next thing on your Google My Business page is going to be your profile. Now, here's an opportunity for you to write down who you are as a business, your business profile. You know, David Adam Kurz, first-time home buyer specialist, industry, you know, professional in the real estate industry for, 17 plus years, whatever. You know, I don't like using time frames. I say almost 2 decades, right? Because almost 2 decades will last me like 3 or 4 or 5 more years, right? So that way I don't have to be in there all the time updating my business profile in all the platforms, right? Now, your business profile becomes a very intricate part of your online standing and profile, because your business profile should be similar or the same on all other platforms. And what do I mean by that? You got Facebook, you got Instagram, right? You got LinkedIn, you got realtor.com, you got Zillow.com, you got homes.com, you got all these different places that will ask for a business profile or bio. And so what you want to do is create similarities between them, because when we go back to these spider bots, they're going to be looking for those similarities, and they'll realize that the system is smart enough to realize that you are the same person and the same profile. Therefore, you're not plagiarizing information, because we'll talk about that in a minute as well. Okay. The next thing is going to be pictures and video. Now, what you will see a lot of is real estate agents creating their GMB, and then they go find stock imagery of, like, the family with the key, and they're holding it up and everybody's happy and they're standing in front of the house. And all that stock imagery is not good for your business profile, because the system, the Google, is smart enough to not only read your words, but it also reads your photos. And it recognizes when your photos are original photos, original to you, not from stock imagery that's being used in 7,000 other websites. When you're capable of figuring that out, and when the system knows that, again, it moves you up the ranks. Just like a good profile moves you up the ranks, a verified address moves you up the ranks. Using the proper name moves you up the ranks. Now, here's the fifth part, and one of the most important and most critical parts: your reviews. Right? Reviews are so important in Google. It's insane. Okay. Now, first thing you need to do once you finish updating your Google profile page is go back to all your old clients and talk to them and say, I need you to write a review for me. But you're going to guide them. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to call them and you're going to say, let me pick a name. You're going to say, hey, Alyssa, how you doing? How's the house? How's everything? Listen, I need a favor from you. Can you please write a business review for me on my Google profile? I will email you the instructions to the Google profile. Alyssa's going to say, sure, David, not a problem. Super excited to be with you. It's okay, Alyssa. I'm just using your name. You don't have to jump in.
Okay. I was ready.
Yeah. But I might ask, she's going to say, sure. She had a great experience with me. I helped her get into her home. She's super happy in her home, which is why I asked her first. I didn't, if she would have said, I hate this house, David, I'm so pissed off that you sold me this house, I'm like, well, I'm glad, if you need anything, let me know. Okay, bye. Right. But you want good reviews, and you want to guide your reviews. How do you guide your reviews? You're going to create an email that you're going to send to people for them to write you a review. In that email, you're going to have the direct link to your profile page. The direct link to your profile page. Sorry for my handwriting. Okay. I'm not really a teacher. Okay. You need the direct link to your profile page so they don't have to find you. You don't want them trying to Google you. You want them to just go straight to your review page, okay? Now, when you go straight to your review page, right, you want to guide them with keywords. You want to guide them with keywords. You want to send them an email that says, "Here, thank you so much for taking the time to write me a review. Here's a direct link to writing the review. Here's some key notes to think about when writing the review. Please use some of the following keywords: real estate, realtor, home, things like that. What keywords are associated to your business? If I'm a dentist and I do dental implants, I might say do that kind of stuff. How many of you have been to a tire repair shop and they say $5 off if you give us a Google review, or a pizza shop that says free soda if you give us a Google review, right? This is what they're doing. They're building it up, okay? And so by giving them the proper keywords to write, those keywords are enhancing your business profile, because in here, when creating this profile, you had to pick a category. And so if I pick a category that says real estate agent, and in my reviews, I'm constantly being told that I'm a wonderful real estate agent or a wonderful realtor who sold a home in record time for a great price, right? When you're using these keywords, or when your clients are writing your reviews and utilizing these keywords, what they're doing is enhancing your profile. It is telling Google that you chose a category and that people are vouching for you in that category. That people are saying, yes, what he says is true, or what she says is true. And I am here to tell you that I am a subject of that truth. That's how you have to think about this. Now, the next thing that the Google bots are going to look at is the maps. And we talked a little bit about that in the Google profile page, right? Because your profile page is going to position your map accordingly, okay? So get as many pics and videos as you can in there, and make sure you have a really great profile picture. It could be a picture of you, be a picture of any, associated to your business. I always tell people, when you're in real estate, your brand is you. We might have this, we might have this, we might have this, we might have all kinds of different branding opportunities, but your face is your brand in the real estate industry, especially as a real estate agent. So that's why faces are on business cards, on flyers, they're on, pamphlets, they're everywhere, because you want people to find association with that photo. Just like your face is the Nike swoosh, right? Your face is the Apple, okay? That's what you want people to recognize you as. And so you're going to keep pushing and promoting, pushing and promoting, pushing and promoting, right? And you've seen a lot of attorneys have jumped on this bandwagon over the years as well. Attorneys used to just have a crest or a logo or something. They would say, John Smith, attorney at law, call us and we will get you top dollar for your claim, right? Now you're seeing a lot of attorney advertising with their photo, because they realize they want to be recognized as a human being, as a person, and not just the one who's going to get you top dollar on your claim, right? They want to be recognized as both. They want to humanize the experience, right? Now, getting away from that, the next thing that we're going to really discuss into is the next place that Google's going to pay special attention to. And it is the #2 largest search site in the world, okay? #1 is Google. Everybody, it's become a phrase, Google it, right? My kids come up to me and they say, how do you do this? How do you do that? I go, dude, Google it. Like, you've got phones, you've got tablets, you've got computers, like Google it. And then you tell me how it's done, right? And so we've all been able to do that. And for years and years and years, we've had to study things by reading it and reading it and reading it, right? We went from having to go to the library to having to buy books. Like if I wanted to change the alternator in my car myself, I had to go buy the book on my car for the years that it was. And I had to read on how to change the alternator. Hopefully it had good pictures. Most of them were horrible pictures in black and white. It sucked, right? And then what happened was we went from that to Google, and we got to see live color pictures, but we still had to read it out, right? And then the world changed with YouTube. That's the next place that Google's looking for you in. If you do not have a YouTube page, you need a YouTube page. Why YouTube? Because YouTube is owned by Google. And if you want to rank on Google at a very high level, you need to have YouTube. Because if I were to search in Google, as we're doing realtor near me, right? But what if I was to search and hopefully this works, right? Buying a home in Miami. Look at this. Home buyer's guide, brought in the search. There you go. Crazy enough, only one YouTube video came up. What does that say to everybody in Miami right now? Make more videos about buying property in Miami, right? Crazy enough, this is going to be a part of someone's search, because again, YouTube is owned by Google. So they want you to be able to hit their links. The more videos you put up, the more attraction you'll have. The title on your YouTube is critical, just like the title on your Google My Business page is critical. So titles of your videos, for instance, right? You'll see a lot of like catchphrases and things like that. You'll see people will post a video about, how they stop smoking, and the title will be, I don't want to quit smoking, And so somebody's looking at it going, why the hell don't you want to quit? I'm here on Google trying to figure out how to quit. Why don't you want to quit? I need to understand why you don't want to quit. And they'll click on that, right? Because it's a catchy phrase. It also says the keywords necessary to rank this person where they need to be for this YouTube video, okay? Now, we're going to get a little bit deeper into YouTube videos in a second, because before we finish this course, I'm going to talk a little bit of a cycle that I want to show you guys to use to be able to really start ranking up in different positions, okay? Next place is going to look is outward articles. How many articles are written about you? How many times are you mentioned on the internet? Do you have a website? And if you do have a website, how is that positioned? And does it have the right keywords? And does it have the right presence? And are you writing blogs on your website? Now, this goes back to the little cycle thing I'm going to show you guys, right? But I'm going to show you a very simple way to have not only video, photos, and content written up, but how to share it amongst all your different platforms, okay? And then it's going to look for what's called backlinks. Now, backlinks are super critical on a local level, right? So what do I mean by this? I mean, you go and you sit with somebody at a brand new restaurant that opens up in an area that you marketed, that you sell properties in. Let's use, my office is in Coral Gables. Let's use Coral Gables, right? Just for an example. If a new restaurant opens up in Coral Gables, my office is in Coral Gables, and I sell Coral Gables, I might want to go talk to the owner of that new restaurant, maybe do an interview with them on camera, or even just take a picture with them so that I can write a blog about the restaurant. And I might link them to the restaurant, and I might ask them, hey, I would love it if in your website, you take my blog and you post it on your website with a link to my blog, because my blog is going to be on my website, right? And that way people can see the great article that I wrote about you. And that owner might say, absolutely, because they're a new restaurant. They want to succeed in the neighborhood, right? I've gone as far as talking to new restaurants and saying, hey, if somebody comes here and they mention my blog, will you give them a free soda or a free appetizer or something? Like pizza shops are phenomenal. They'll go, hey man, free garlic rolls. Anybody comes in and mentions your name, right? And so I'll say that in my blog. Hey, if you stop by Freddy's Pizza, you know, Freddie's going to give you a free garlic rolls if you say David sent you, right? And so what does that do? It's doing a bunch of stuff, but online, besides the relationship that you're building, the referral base that you're earning, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, it's creating backlinks between the two websites, your website and their website. Your website is local to them. They are local to you. Google says, wow, this person, this pizza shop is marketing this real estate agent, and this real estate agent is talking about this pizza shop. So they both must be relevant to the community. Realtor near me. That's going to help your ranking come up. That's going to help you position yourself in a better space. Now, all the other stuff matters. Your Zillow, your realtor.com, your homes.com, your Facebook, your Instagram, and all that other stuff. Okay. Now, let's talk about this cycle that I was going to mention to you before we start talking a little bit about some tips for, we're going to give you some solid tips on Facebook and Instagram. We're going to give you some solid tips on YouTube. One thing about YouTube that I want to mention when we talk about Instagram and Facebook, we all know that Facebook and Instagram has Reels, right? We're all familiar with the Reels, okay? Reels have begun extremely popular in recent times, and they're going to continue to become extremely popular because both platforms, which by the way are both owned by Meta, right? Both platforms are pushing people to do more Reels. I actually get messages from Instagram that says, hey, for the next 30 days, we will pay you up to $1,200 if you post X amount of Reels and get X amount of views. They're pushing people to continue to do more and more and more and more on social media, right? And so YouTube, because Google hates Facebook, right? Or Alphabet hates Meta, okay? YouTube created Shorts, okay? And then, of course, you have TikTok. I don't even know if I'm spelling it right. TikTok, right? So, of course, you have TikTok as well, okay? So now, TikTok made it all popular. You can post on here, download that, put it on here, and then put it on here. But the one tip that I'm going to give you is never interlink them. For instance, if I'm on TikTok, it's going to give me an option to push it to Instagram. I don't want to do that because Instagram is going to say it wasn't original to us. So I'm going to post on TikTok. I'm going to download it. And I'm going to make an original post into Instagram and an original post into YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts is becoming more and more popular, and it's giving you the opportunity to earn more and more subscribers. Okay, but we'll get into that in a second. Let's talk about this cycle that I wanted to discuss with you guys. Now, on this cycle, we're going to start with YouTube. Now, I don't know how many of you are creating videos, but video right now, massively important. I hate to say right now because it's been super critical for like 3-4 years now, right? Video, the consumption of video online has surpassed the consumption of content. Hear me loud and clear. The consumption of video has surpassed the consumption of content. Nobody wants to read this book anymore. They want to watch the movie. Do you understand? It went from this to listening to the audio to now a visual with audio, watching the movie. Okay? Nobody wants to do the reading anymore. So they're focusing on YouTube. But here's the thing. With Google, it's going to look for content. So how do I get these things really running? Well, I'm going to create a 2-minute informational video, right? Now, this is not your reels and not necessarily your shorts, because when we talk about social media, we talk about being very purposeful in social media with the idea that you have to come across as a human person. Therefore, I am not a believer in separating your personal from your business. If my business is my personal, they should be intertwined. If you're in real estate, people work with you because they know, like, and trust you. Nothing else. Okay? As you build these profiles and you have 1,000 reviews on Google, yes, you're going to receive more calls than you ever did before, but still, you got to interview for the job, right? So people are going to sit with you and they're going to see if they feel comfortable with you selling their home or helping them find a home. Create 2-minute videos that are content created about your business. Educate people. Do the research on the topic that you want to discuss and educate people. Okay? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to transcribe that video. Why do I want to transcribe the video? I want the words that are coming out of my mouth written out, right? Now, you can do it yourself, or there are several websites out there that you can upload your video, and for $1 a minute, okay, this is a 2-minute video, so $2. For $1 a minute, it will transcribe the video for you. You will upload the video. It'll take 10 seconds to transcribe the whole video for you. Then you get to sit there and play the video as it highlights the words, and you can make any corrections necessary. And for $2, you can download that and save it as a Word document or whatever the case is. Okay. So now you've got your video and your content. The next thing you're going to do, and let me erase this, because we're going to take this and say create second video, right? Create 2-minute video. Okay. Transcribe the video. Then you're going to post this video on YouTube. When you post this video on YouTube, right, you've got the video, the title, and then you have the content, and you have the written stuff that people write about it. Okay. This is your video, title, content. Okay. You're going to take, first of all, don't forget to say who you are and how to be content, right? David Adam Kurz, real estate, speaker, coach, 786-299-2532, David@davidadamkurz.com. Because people like my stuff, I want them to call me, right? That makes sense, okay? So then you're going to take that transcribed content and you're going to put it on the bottom of there, and you're going to load this video into YouTube with content. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to your website and you're going to create a blog. Now, when you create this blog on your website, you're going to use the same title that you used here. Okay? And then you're going to go back to YouTube and you're going to grab the embedded code. So when you hit share, you can share it as a link, or you can copy the embedded code. You're going to grab that embedded code. You're going to come back to the website. You're going to embed it in your blog, and then you're going to add the content to it. And then on the bottom, you're still going to add a link back to your YouTube channel, right? So now what happens? With the embedded code, it allows me to go to your website and watch that video on your blog that may come up in one of the searches that I do on Google, because Google was attaching its spiders to all your content and your video and your photos, right? So let's say you wrote a blog about interest rates going up before anybody else does, and I type into Google interest rates going up, and I happen to be in your neighborhood. Your article comes up. I might go to your article, but the first thing that I'm going to do, because of the level of video consumption, is I'm going to watch that video. But that embedded code, right, allows me to come back to the video, and it allows me, okay, it allows me to watch your video without leaving your website. So I watch your video, I like your video, I scroll down, I realize that all the words are exactly what you just said in your video. Then you got a link there to your YouTube channel that says, hey, come to my YouTube channel and subscribe. And then I get to go to your YouTube channel. And because I like the content that you've already provided to me, I might watch 1 or 2 more videos and I might subscribe. By subscribing, every time you post a video, I'm going to get a notice that says you posted a new video in my YouTube update weekly. Again, pushing yourself as a expert profile in the community consistently. Okay. Then I'm going to take that same content. And now that I have on my YouTube and I have it on my website and I've interlinked the two because, right, when I David at davidadamkurz.com, davidadamkurz.com, as I put those links in my YouTube, description for that. I'm interlinking, I'm creating backlinks between the two for my own profiles. I could take that same video and that same content. I can put it on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. What else is there? I could create a short from my video. So from that 2-minute video, I could take like the most important 30 seconds of it and I could put it on my TikTok. I can put that as a reel. I can make it a YouTube short as well. I can do all of that stuff just by doing this little cycle right here. Then I'm going to come over here to my GMB, Google My Business page. And I'm going to post an article on my Google My Business page that links back to my website and my YouTube channel. I hope I'm making sense for you guys. Okay. Now, this is not the end of it because there are other websites that will allow you to post videos and things like that, right? So you can keep pushing it too, but then you're going to do it again. And you do this again and again and again. And if you did 1 video a week, you would have 52 videos a year. In 4 years, you would have over 200 plus videos. If you just committed to 1 a week. It's not 1 a day, 1 a week of constant contact with the community through an online profile. What do you think's happening here? You created this. Google's attaching here. It's attaching here. It's attaching here. It's attaching here. It's bringing it all together to give you a stronger online profile. Okay. Now, let's get into Facebook real quick. And I saw some questions in there. I'll get to them in a second. Okay. If you have questions, you can type them in there. But I'll come back and I'll answer them in a second. Okay. The website, I can't remember the website, but I promise you, we can look it up right now and I guarantee it'll come up, right? So like, as a matter of fact, let's do that now before we get too far ahead, right? Transcribe my video. I can tell you which one I use. There you go. Transcribe video to text. Transcribe, Fiverr. So Fiverr is a great resource, by the way. Okay. So let me get a screenshot of this because then I can write on it. All right. So right here, Fiverr is a great resource. Okay. Fiverr, you can get somebody on Fiverr to do all of this for you, by the way. Right. You can get one person on Fiverr that will transcribe the video. They'll make the video look prettier. They'll put a frame around it. They'll do all kinds of stuff. They'll even, if you even tell them, hey, listen, by the way, minute 1 to minute 1 minute and 30 seconds, I want you to cut that out and make that a short video and design it for a reel. They'll cut it out and design it for a reel. This whole thing, that whole process on Fiverr might cost you $15. And then they'll send everything to you. And all you got to do is upload and share, upload and share, upload and share. Put everything in the right position. Okay. But these are some of the ones that gottranscript.com is a transcribed video service. So again, there are a bunch of these websites out there. Convert Video, how to transcribe video, video text converter, Happy Subscribe, Fixer.com, typestudio.com, transcribe.com, mylearning.com. There's all kinds of stuff, right? So I even spelled transcribe word and I got it all. Let's see. Let's go in here. 77 cents per minute. That's how much it costs to do it on Go Transcript. 70 cents per minute. How does it work? You upload the file, you pay online, you get your transcript delivered via email. 99% plus accuracy. Okay. I mean, this is as good as it gets. You don't have to sit there doing this. All right. Now, let me give you, let's get into Facebook real quick, because again, you know, I love to be respectful for your time. And I feel like this insert course is going to be one of those to be continued courses next week. And so forget about the 13-week course. We're just going to freaking go until we're done with the SOP. Okay. So now I want to talk to you about Facebook real quick, because I think Facebook, in my opinion, it's still one of the strongest opportunities for your growth. And I'm going to tell you where. First of all, I have a saying. You need to be interesting. But more importantly, you need to be interested. What does that mean? You can't just go to Facebook and Instagram and post a bunch of stuff over and over and over and over again and expect people to have relationships with you and build the algorithms of people having relationships with you. No, you need to go in there and be interested in their lives as well. So not only do you have to post stuff up, but you also have to look at what other people are posting and make comments, put an emoji, make a like, you know, send them a direct message. Hey, by the way, that picture that you posted, I've been there and that's a beautiful place. You know, hope you had a great time. Like whatever it is, right? Somebody's in Japan and they're in the cherry blossoms. I might write them and say, man, I remember when I lived in Japan. I love cherry blossom season. It's beautiful out there. Glad you got to see that. Hope you enjoyed, right? That's how you build relationships consistently, by being interested, besides being interesting, okay? The next piece is such a big thing, such a big thing, such a big thing, and I won't ever stop promoting this. Facebook groups that you run and manage, okay, could be the most influential way of reaching out to the people that you need to be in communication with. And they do not need to be about real estate. They just need to know that you're a realtor, or you sell bicycles, or you sell lollipops, or you sell motorcycles. They just need to know what you do for a living, but the group doesn't necessarily have to be about that. It could be a community group like the Coral Gables Residence Group. Could be totally about that. Or let's say I love motorcycles, right? It could be the Harley Davidson Coral Gables Facebook group. You notice that I have this in here, because I don't sell real estate in Seattle, Washington. I just don't. Can I refer people there? Yes. But I want to be hyper local and hyper specific to where I am when I'm creating this group. Me, I'm a coach. So I have groups that are about realtors and coaching. I'm a veteran. So I have groups. I have a specific group that I created about 18 months ago. That's only for veterans, not for people who love veterans, not for the spouses, not for the pro veteran life, not for any of that stuff. Veterans who became real estate pros. That's actually the name of the group. Veterans who became real estate professionals. And if you're a mortgage lender, or you're a real estate professional, or a title company, or anything that has to do with real estate in specific, and you're a veteran, you're allowed in this group. And I can create questions for that group to vet them on the way in. If they don't answer the questions, I don't let them in. Simple as that. They could have served 100 years in the military. If they don't answer the questions, I won't let them in, right? And so you can create anything that you're interested in, right? Like, what is your hobby? Do you like bicycling? Like for my California folks, are you guys the ones on the PCH causing all that traffic, right? Or do you like surfing? Or do you like, I don't know, what do we do in Miami? We drink, right? Best drinking spots in Miami, best bars, right? You know, and in there you can have conversations about this. You can bring up the conversation, you can bring up the topics, you can allow people to talk, right? Yes, we drink a lot. Realtors in Miami, we're luscious, okay? Now, and then are we communicating with a larger group of people? My veteran group, almost 600 people. I mean, I'm sorry, 600 plus people, almost 700 people, right? I communicate in there about real estate and about veteran stuff. And if I do my job well, the people in that group will either A, want to be associated with me as their coach, or B, want to be associated with me in my real estate organization, right? And so the goal is, how do I get to work with my Facebook group, my Facebook community? And you get to work with them by becoming a trusted source in whatever it is that you guys share together. Again, whatever your hobby is, you like knitting, like create a Facebook group, knitting in Calabasas, right? San Diego, big surfers down there, I think, right? Talk about that. New Jersey, what do you guys like to do? Right? What's popping in New Jersey? What's popping in New York, right? You know, Manhattan socialites. Like, there's so many great groups out there that you can communicate with. I met an agent several months ago who told me about her Facebook group, who led into a WhatsApp group. And it's all Brazilian people. She's Brazilian, obviously. All Brazilian people looking to move to the United States because of job transfers, right? And so who do you think runs that group? Who do you think is the real estate agent that brings them to the United States and has it down packed on how, if you're a Brazilian national and you're getting a job transfer to the Northeast, got that down packed to get them moved in and situated. You've got the right lenders, you've got the right title company, you've got the right everybody to get that mission in place. She's the one. And she's the one in constant communication. As the laws change, she's giving information. As things change, she's giving information. She's giving. So here's the other piece. You can't create the group and ignore it. You have to be a part of it. And at some point, God willing, the group gets so out of control that you have to recruit help to run the group. How many of you are members of the Lab Coat Agents group on Facebook, right? That Lab Coat Agents group is a huge gold mine for the owner of that group. The owner of that group uses that group very, very well. But the group has gotten so big that that actual Facebook group has a staff associated to it. Legit has a staff created for that Facebook group. It has become a business. Okay, it has become a business. There's huge opportunities. Now, I'm going to give you guys some stuff, man. I want you guys to work on your Google stuff. So I want you to work on your GMB, which is your Google My Business profile. I want you to work on your website. Make sure that your name and all that stuff is created properly. If you don't have your own website, folks, you need your own website. I don't care if you spend $4,000 with Agent Image or you go to Wix and you build it yourself there. You need to have your own website. It is okay to go to Wix.com and spend like $10 a month or whatever it costs to host a website and build a profile site. This is me, this is who I am, this is what I do, and then link that to your MLS search site. Because your MLS search site is not going to be this is me, this is who I am, this is what I do. It can be if you want it to be that. But for those of you that are using the free sites at your company, right? So like at EXP, everybody's using their KV Core front-facing website, right? It's a beautiful website. You can adjust it, you can design it, you can do whatever you want with it, but it is not yours. It is repetitive, which means there's plagiarizing on there, right? And so Google's not really recognizing that site that way. But your profile page with your content that you didn't copy from anyone else, by the way, because you cannot plagiarize, Google will know. With your original profile, your original photos, your original everything, your original content, and your blog goes on here. Because God forbid that you're at this company, wherever you are, Coldwell Banker and anything, wherever you are, God forbid you leave that company and you've been writing blogs on there for 10 years, you're done. Have it here on this profile. You do not want to give anybody else control of helping you disappear from the internet. Okay, agentfire.com, that's another great one, right? Agentfire.com is another great one. There's all kinds of ones that are out there. I used Agent Image. Agent Image, I did my website with them. If you guys want the link to that, email me, let me know, and I'll share it with you. But it has my bio, my profile, my original pictures, my team, the books that I've written, the movement that we're hosting, my coaching platform, a video series that we did called the 10% Miami Mansion Editions, affiliated companies that I'm associated with, our conference. It has my Take Action podcast on Spotify and Apple. It has my social profiles, and it has my family's original photos to me, right? So this is my world right here. These are my ladies, right? And then that's it. And it has connections to all my social media and everything else. I built this on here. We have a little blog that we run from here. You come on here, the first blog that you're going to see is 10 valuable traits of great leadership in real estate, right? I love coaching. This is my passion. What you did not see in this video or in this website is search for properties. Did not see that. The reason that you did not see that is because I don't use this website for that. I've got this. This is the Kurz team. This is how people search for properties. If I come here and I have all my events on here, but if I come to davidadamkurz.com and I hit that home menu, and hopefully everything's working right and I don't embarrass the hell out of myself right now, right? You got the team right here. I can click on the Kurz team and get to my website. Well, I should be able to. It's not working right. All right, Michael, why is that not working right? All right, so basically you want to be able to make it clickable so it could go to your search site. So people, oh, look, it did. Sorry, I was clicking in the wrong places. All right, just kidding, Mike, it worked. All right, so and then books, like I have my books on here, so I can go to order now. It's gonna take you right to Amazon, right? All of these things matter. It becomes your clickable options. It becomes, your profile, your website, who you are to the rest of the world, right? Okay, and so very important. You're gonna get your Google squared away, your business page squared away, your map squared away. Okay, you're gonna get some reviews on here. You're gonna follow all the steps. You're gonna get some reviews on here. Okay, you're gonna get your website squared away. All right, if you got one, go look at it. Make sure it's 100% updated, clean, and profile. If you've plagiarized, if you've copied and pasted information from somewhere else, get rid of that. Make it original content to you. If you're using stock imagery, hire a photographer or do it yourself, whatever it takes. Go take some beautiful pictures of your city, get a drone, drop it up into the sky, get that California skyline, get those beaches, go to Miami, get those Miami beaches, get that Brickell skyline, get the communities that you sell in, and put those pictures original to you on your website. This is your challenge for this week, by the way, okay? And then the next thing I want you to do is think about creating your Facebook group. All right. Now, next week, what we're going to do is we're going to talk more about Facebook and commonalities between Facebook and other social media platforms. And then we're going to get into Instagram. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on things that you can use to create some really awesome reels with very little talent. Okay, you don't need the talent. The things that I'm going to show you, they just do it for you. It's pretty badass, right? And I'm going to take some time next week. We're going to focus on that. We're going to get into creating commonality amongst all of your profiles with same profile pictures, same bios, backlinks to each other, and so forth and so on. I want to be able to help you get prepared, because after that, 2 weeks from now, we're going to talk about positioning all of the stuff that we've talked about so far into a time and schedule. And we're going to talk about positioning your calendar and making your calendar your life. And that's 2 weeks from now, because there was no way we could get through everything in the time that we did it right now. Okay. So again, I hope this tremendously helped you out. Before you leave, I am going to make a shameless plug. We have this great event happening down here in South Florida. A lot of great leaders are coming in for this event. It is July 15th, 16th, and 17th. I would love for you guys to jump into this mastermind. There are only 35 seats available for this mastermind. It's a very high level mastermind. If you join the mastermind, we expect you to stay at the hotel that we're hosting the mastermind on, because the magic doesn't only happen behind closed doors. It also happens over dinner, breakfast, over drinks, by the pool. We want magical moments to happen to build community amongst each other, and to walk away with tangible information, not just from me, but from a lot of really great people who are dedicating their time to contribute to everybody in the room. So if you can make it to this, I'm going to add this link to the email that goes out to you guys. It's July 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's going to be at Margaritaville. Let me show you a picture of Margaritaville. Look how beautiful that place is. Okay. It's in Hollywood Beach, Florida. It's going to be an insane event. It's going to be a great opportunity for us. Again, if you're registered on our Eventbrite, you're going to get today's video. You're going to get this link. You're going to get added information, anything that you need. Guys, I'm here for you. Shoot me a text, shoot me an email, follow me on Instagram at David Adam Kurz. I respond the best through there, because we can stay massively communicative through there. Text messages and everything else just obviously get lost in the mix a lot of times. So I really want you guys to stay hyper focused and being connected with us as a group. And I did promise you guys that at the end, we would create more communicative options for us, whether they be through WhatsApp or whatever the case is. Okay. But we'll figure that out when we get there. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, please do so. That's also going to be in the email link to our Facebook group. Join our Facebook group. We'd love to see you guys there. Again, thank you everybody for joining us today. It's always magical to see you guys. I'm going to stop recording.